Hi and welcome to this week's Friday AI with me, Billy McLaughlin, where I cut out all the fuss, cut straight to the facts on everything to do with artificial intelligence for bookkeepers, accountants and finance professionals. As you can see, I'm in the wonderful Mauritius, but travelling really gives me the opportunity to do quite a bit of research. So hopefully this backdrop will also give you that little bit of fire in your belly when talking about what we can do with some of the news this week. We have seen Sam Altman explain that we need to cut the manners when we're talking to large language models because of the extra energy usage it is taking up. I don't think I'll stop saying please and thank you to our future overlords. It just seems a little bit risky. We've also seen China announce that they are going to be teaching artificial intelligence to children from the age of 6 as of from September. And Xero have launched a report which states that AI is being seen as the #1 opportunity for accountants, but also the second biggest challenge, which is obviously due to the huge gap in education, which is why I make videos like this for people like you. So this week I've got 4.5 headlines for you to take away and think about how you can incorporate it into our industry. Number 1. ChatGPT can now know exactly where you are, your location, from a photograph. This is a trend that we saw pop up last week when the O3 and O4 mini models were released in a way that they can now reason through an image. So we've heard about this reasoning, we've heard about reasoning models. They can now work through an image and reverse engineer exactly where you are. It can give you addresses, it can give you coordinates, it can give you such a precise location. Obviously there are some risks around security. I've read a report from one of the reps from OpenAI who said it is going to be used to help emergency services, and there will be some things put in place to prevent any safety breaches happening. Now, for accountants, I keep saying this over and over, and I think I'm going to give this a go, but when we think about how it can reason through an image, why could this not reason through an image of a complex tax form, for example, or something that our clients need to know? How come they could not just take a picture, pop it into ChatGPT O3 or O4 and ask it to reason through the form for them? For your clients, if they work in some sort of logistics and they have deliveries that are being dropped off in certain locations, perhaps it would be a really good opportunity to introduce this type of AI to help them when it comes to missing parcels to find out exactly the location of them. Headline number 2 is that OpenAI have released a prompting guide. We've heard this from the inception of large language models that prompting is so important. The reason why it's important is because prompting is essentially the way you ask a question. A very common saying in our industry is rubbish in, rubbish out, and the same applies here. I've actually decided I'm going to do a video on this on its own because I would really like to see how we could take the prompting guide from OpenAI and tailor that specifically to the accountancy sector. Obviously, this is great if you are using prompts and you're using large language models in everyday life. Do go check out the prompting guide, but if not, hang fire and I will definitely do something for you in the near future. Number 3, and this one is so exciting because if you followed me for a while, you'll know how much I love note takers, especially as a really good intro tool into artificial intelligence. Well, Fireflies have now developed 200 mini apps within their product. So Fireflies is a transcribing tool that you can have attend any of your meetings, and they've now got the tagline of "We don't just listen, we act." And I love this because it's a really good way of introducing agentic AI. I think I've mentioned in the past about potentially taking your transcripts and putting them into large language models and maybe doing a little bit more with them. But actually what this now means is you don't have to get your hands dirty. Fireflies is going to do that work for you. One of the apps, for example, will attach itself to your meeting and analyse the performance. So potentially you've got team members that are meeting with a client who currently just takes one service from you. You want to upsell your services and you want to analyse their performance on how they did on introducing new services, upselling them, giving prices, talking about the opportunities of working with your firm a little bit closer. This extra app can go away, analyse the performance, and then give scores and feedback on how to improve, on that transcript. It's a bit like a mini coach that's there in all your meetings that can give you that feedback afterwards and nobody gets offended. But it doesn't just stop there. It can obviously filter into all different departments and you can create your own apps, which means that you could say, every time you meet with this client, I would like you to send the transcript to the bookkeeper, the tax professional, the accountant manager, and also the partner. And by creating these workflows, it's gonna go away, do these things, and you've got your own little system, if you like, within Fireflies doing that work for you. They do also have some really exciting new additions coming out, like digital twins, which we're already seeing in the likes of Zoom, and a few other things that I know are on the way, which I will report when they are released. And headline number 4, with a little bit of a bonus at the end, is that X's Grock AI, so X is Elon Musk's business, it bought Twitter, yada, yada, yada. Grock AI now has vision capabilities. So we already see this in Google Gemini and ChatGPT, but essentially whatever your smartphone can see on its camera, Grock AI can then see to assist you in any way you need it. This is really, really great for if you have a document in front of you, you can take a picture, ask it to summarize the page. There's no issue in terms of scanning it in, etc. But also because of the multi-language functionality, it could work really well if you've got any international clients that have documents that they're sending to you that you have to translate. So I remember that I had this with a Chinese client who was importing goods and they were sending the documents in Chinese, and we had no hope in hell of deciphering what was import duty, what was VAT, and what was extra charges. And when it comes to vision models, my little bonus tip for the 4.5 for today is that Google have just done a TED talk where they are showcasing their glasses and they are phenomenal. No word of a lie, they're amazing. So in this demonstration, one of the team looks at a bookcase, looks away, and then asks for the title of the white book, which you can recite immediately. It can also help with things like, where did I last leave my hotel room key? Perfect for someone like me who loses everything. But the reason why I wanted to bring this to your attention is that we might have to start considering including AI wearables into our AI policies in practice. Now, this might sound mad, but if we've got team members wearing these glasses and they get just a brief look over a client file they shouldn't, or we have clients that are coming in and maybe have a look at something that they maybe shouldn't for a brief second, we just need to be aware that these things are now available. It's not a case of someone just has a look and they've got no chance of remembering it. Unfortunately, they don't need to anymore if they're wearing these cool little glasses. That's everything from me on this week's Fried AI. Please let me know what you're most excited about and if you're going to take any of these tips away into your practice or share them with anybody you know. Have a great weekend.